You know what, chat? I decided I was just going to start the stream anyways. Because I kind of don't have anything else better to do, right? We're just going to be here anyways. So, that's what we're doing today. And if you're wondering, as the name implies, we are going to be talking about Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy. And then in the subtitle, the Definitive Edition. It's a long time. And we have two videos. One is from weeks ago, and the other one is from yesterday. So, when the game came out. Now, I had the unfortunate opportunity to play the Grand Theft Auto one because it's on Xbox Game Pass. Obviously. But it wasn't good. And it continues to not be good. It is incredible. I don't know. If you've been playing through it, I don't know what to tell you. I think it's just not that good. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into what we're talking about tonight. And I was like, I want to do a free talk, but free talk will literally not be that much better than what we're doing currently. So, here we are with a brand new something. I can probably just clip it later. But this is about Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. I hate having to say it that many times. But here's where we're going to start with Richard Review Tech USA. And you know what? So YouTube is kind of weird. Wait, am I on the right one? Okay, never mind, I am. Sometimes I get worried. I'm like, did I list this or nah? But I did. But this is from 3 weeks ago. And this is Richard Review Tech USA talking about Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, and why people are complaining about it. And that's not to say that he may not be right, but it most certainly is something that he might be wrong about. And then we'll get into like the meat of all of this at the very end of it, which is going to be its own separate video when I actually make it next week. Next week, guys. Just wait for it.
Why people are complaining about this? What did you expect? It's a remaster, not a remake. Did you really think they were going to remake 3 open world games? Oh, stop. News time.
I hate that this is where we are currently, is with the fact that a game, if it's remastered, the people that are always going to be at the defense of a video game have to say that it's not a remake, but then if it's a remake, then it's essentially a remaster sometimes. I have no idea.
Skip it up and that up. So today it was just announced that the name of this, I cannot get it right for the life of me. Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition is coming out for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC on November 11th.
And boy, did it.
And they had a trailer up on Rockstar's YouTube channel. And I don't really know what people are complaining about.
They're complaining that it doesn't have soul. Have you guys ever went back to play a video game and you're like, man, I remember all of this backwards and forwards. I love this entire game franchise. And then you get to whatever Grand Theft Auto is. They made the characters look weird and cartoony. But are we going to bring that up?
I think people are misconstruing the difference between a remaster and a remake.
If people were misconstruing that, what comments did you read?
Totally different things. So, Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, I just feel like they should have reworded the title of this compilation better, but whatever. So you're going to get Liberty City, Vice City, and San.
See, I think that this is a good Remaster? Oh, you know what? That's the thing. Um, Hang on. Oh boy, I'm not even drunk, and I almost can't even read. King of Weeps for the 4 months. Oh my god, that's a tier 3. Well, big ups. How, sir? It's been a minute. GTA Trilogy is fun when I'm drunk. That I can agree with. I think this is really fun when you're getting completely blasted. But I think that there's a lot of factors that go into this. I think that some elements of the game are good. I think the lighting is phenomenal, but everything else is... I could take it or leave it, personally. Even if it's just a remaster, is it even a good remaster? Not really. It's... When I played the little bit that I did play, I didn't find myself wanting to play more. I said, oh, this is in 60 frames per second on the Xbox Series S. That's great. When does it start being fun and looking good? And that's pretty much where my mind went.
San Andreas to... It's coming, like I said. They're even bringing it next year to mobile.
See, they selected what they showed everyone, because they knew that there were certain parts that were just not good. I heard there was more glitches. There are a lot more glitches in this game. I'm kind of glad I still got the originals on Steam. I do have I have Vice City and San Andreas on Steam.
Mobile platforms like iOS and Android. Well, anyway, GTA 3, GTA San Andreas, and GTA Vice City. Yes, I said those out of order. They're going to have GTA...
Like, look at this. Hair kind of doesn't... Have you not seen the arms on Candy? I've seen a lot of things on Candy. I've seen a lot of things on Candy, and I don't think I want to see any more. But, like, it's the cartoony art style of what they're showing you that doesn't really match. Like, even in the old school games, it still had, like, a realistic kind of look to it, and then the artwork was almost supplementary. Yeah, his hair looks like a sculpted Tootsie Roll. It does. That's why I'm, like, freaking out a little bit, because it's, like, I'm not wanting them to remake the game, because then they can change all of this. But even if we remaster it, there's no reason for it to be this jank.
A5 like controls, or inspired controls, so it's going to have a modernized control scheme, so you don't have to worry about using the outdated controls that the games originally had. And they're going to have visual enhancements like you're seeing.
Yeah, these are like, again, they cherry picked what they showed you. By the way, we all know what this is now at this point. I love Tootsie Rolls. I haven't had a Tootsie Roll in years. Every time I have a stream, you guys always have to, like, pull me back into not being a boomer. I'm not very happy with you.
Here, such as resolution upgrades, lighting upgrades, and character model upgrades, where they're going to have actual fingers instead of their hands just being...
No, they still have the big meaty claw hands. That didn't change, really.
Almost like Minecraft character block hands. And they're using Unreal Engine to remaster all 3 of these games. And from what I saw in the trailer, it's actually more than I expected to a degree.
I didn't expect anything. Also, Muffler Guy. God, one day, chat. One day when I stop living in these apartments and I get rid of Muffler Guy. One day. I was expecting fingers, and I kind of was too. I wanted finger movements instead of my my oven mitt hands, but that didn't work.
This is a remaster, not a remake, and I think that...
Now, if I wanted a remake, this is what a lot of people, I say a lot of people, but people that I've talked to, they would want San Andreas to be in GTA 5, essentially, because GTA 5 is almost the I hate to say it this way, in air quotes, the definitive Los Santos. And that's all they had to do was remake it into that if they really wanted, like, easy money, but they didn't want to do that. And it's not like they upgraded any of the audio either, so even if they remastered something, they definitely didn't remaster any of the audio.
People don't understand the difference in between the two. When you remake a game like Demon Souls,
which, is it really a remake?
That's a remake. They literally remade the game from the ground up using modern hardware to give it modern graphics, modern enhancements.
They did that with this. So, if you guys have played, I don't know if you played it yet, but if you guys have played the definitive trilogy here, they added in the weapon wheel in San Andreas, and it fucked me up the first time I saw it because it's so oddly high resolution and out of place. I didn't know what the fuck I was playing. And again, he's describing a remaster still, not a remake.
Taking the original game and putting a much prettier coat of paint on it.
Yeah, there are checkpoints now. There are checkpoints during the mission. Or I say mission. During the missions. And there's already an autosave feature too. Now, again, he's describing a remaster, not a remake. He's saying, well, they remade the game from the ground up. They kind of didn't. All they did was remaster all of these areas that you've been to before. If they remade it, things would be a little bit different. Final Fantasy VII Remake, that's a perfect example. Plays nothing like Final Fantasy VII, and it is completely a whole separate game. It is remade. It's not a remaster. Demon Souls is a remaster.
That's a huge difference. It's not the same. When you see a remaster and a remake, you have to understand the difference.
But you don't. Like, I don't really... I don't get how he's describing a remaster.
And I think a lot of... You got to realize, these games are old.
They're old, but they have soul. I'll fight him on this one. They made those games look... Wait, they made those games look worse? They kind of did. I have no energy to go forward and play these games, but I want to go back and play the old ones.
Grand Theft Auto 3 came out in 2001. Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out in 2002. And GTA San Andreas came out in 2004. And what I'm thinking is what's happening here is that, hell, if you were born in 2001, you're like 19, 20 years old right now. And
wow, he really did make me kind of feel old with that. San Andreas is the is the Giga Chad to GTA 5's Virgin. I agree.
And you're not understanding to a degree, what a remake is.
Do I have to look? You know what? Hang on, guys. I forgot. I live in the 21st century. I can just use my phone instead of having to like open it up here on chat, obviously. So let me go ahead and read to you remaster versus remake, which, by the way, I didn't have this planned out by any stretch of the imagination. The differences between remakes and remasters is very slight, but there is a difference. While a remake tends to focus on reworking the technical and performance aspects of a game, a remaster is generally made to look good on newer devices. Now, take with that what you will. Again, very slight difference. But we can look at, again, Final Fantasy VII Remake as that example. Demon Souls Remake is kind of just a remaster, but they're calling it a remake. But they've added stuff in, so I guess if they add stuff in, then is it really still a remake or a remaster? Probably. But, again, he's arguing that you don't know the difference if you're not old enough, because those games are old.
You're thinking that a remaster is similar to a remake. There's some of you... I was in my 20s, early 20s, when these games came out. Some of you weren't even born yet. And I just think you don't get it.
Yeah, you don't get it. But the people that bought the game that just say that it's pretty dog shit. Again, this is 3 weeks ago, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. 3 weeks ago, he was like all about defending this game. And there are, to a degree, there are people that are probably in the comments of that video that are like, why didn't you do this thing with this game? Why is this called a remaster when it's a remake or something? There might be some stupid comments. I have no idea. But again, this was all 3 weeks ago, so take that into consideration.
Really impressed with what I saw, and I think people are disappointed for the wrong reasons. And honestly, RGT85 on YouTube.
RGT85, we'll talk about that in the free talk tomorrow. So if you're around for free talk, tomorrow's the day.
Said it best, and this is what he had to say about people complaining about Grand Theft Auto.
Oh yeah, he said a dog shit statement. You'll see it.
The Trilogy, the definitive edition. I hate that name, but anyway, here's what RGT had to say.
RGT has a lot of things going on, but
blank babies in the comments. Gonna guess that 70% of the cats bitching weren't even out of diapers when these games dropped. I agree with that. This is for the OGs. Move along.
Okay, hang on. We got to go back a little bit. So, any game, Rockstar can never receive criticism because this doesn't look good to the person. There are, what's the one guy? KZ Fru? Is it Fru or Frey? Fru? But he's a speedrunner for Grand Theft Auto Vice City. He does other games too, but Vice City is the one that I see him play, and he is godlike at it. And when I see him react to this trailer, it is the greatest thing ever because I know what he knows because I've seen him look through it. RGT literally, I'm going to go ahead and spoil the free talk for you tomorrow. The RGT got upset and ass blasted because he got an early copy of Metroid Dread and wondered why the Nintendo Ninja showed up to DMCA him. But again, that's for tomorrow.
And yeah, again, okay, it's not going to look as good as a modern AAA game, but
But isn't that the purpose, though?
differences that I saw in the trailer, look again, were pretty incredible.
They could have been better. Rockstar has billions with a B. It would not have taken them that long to say, let's make this look like GTA 5. Because again, some of the models don't even look the same. I can't find the Twitter thread, but just know that they exist and people have been sharing them left and right.
And honestly, I'm not a big GTA guy, but I'm definitely going to get this Trilogy for the Switch. I think it'll be fun to play on the Switch.
Spoiler alert, it's not. Wait, RGT greater than Nintendo legal team, in my opinion? You guys don't get it then. I'll explain. You know, we might watch it tonight. I might just spoil it for you tonight. RGT has, we'll watch it together.
And even though I'm not the hugest fan of Grand Theft Auto, I like what they did here. They modernized it, but they still kept that same aesthetic, which is kind of like what was appealing about the Grand Theft Auto games.
That they were kind of just a product of their time. That makes no sense.
So they updated the games while still allowing people who were young adults back then, like me, to still get that sense of nostalgia. And for all the people who are just mostly familiar with GTA 5, I got great news for you. They're updating the controls for all the games to be like GTA 5. They're also adding...
You know, none of this would actually be a problem, and I could see where Rich is coming from, if only they didn't delist all of those games from online marketplaces. So, even if I wanted to say, you know what, Rich, I concede, you're absolutely correct. They should never have removed the original games. And that's just Rockstar being Rockstar. Unfortunate.
Adding waypoints, so it'll make it easier to navigate missions. They're giving it, again, they're called quality of life features to improve the game and make them more enjoyable. So I'm all for this. And again, I'm not the biggest GTA fan. So the bottom line is, I think people just don't understand what a remaster is or what a definitive edition is. And this is actually more than I expected from Rockstar. What they did with GTA 5 when they said it's coming to next-gen consoles, when they showed a trailer for that, it was laughable. And I was like, give me a break. The game barely looks any different. This is actually more than I expected.
It's not what almost anyone expected, to be honest with you. Oh, there's not a lot. It's just a plug segment at the end. So, again, take into account, this is 3 weeks ago, so we know nothing 3 weeks ago. Now, chat, allow me to regale you with a story. Here's the thing, chat. We fast forward to yesterday when the game releases. We get my honest review of GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition PS5/Xbox from, you guessed it, the Dreamcast guy himself. Now, I haven't went through and disliked his video yet, but that's kind of what I wanted to talk about for at least a split second here. The likes and dislikes. What do they mean to you, chat? Also, I'm not watching this right this second. But, intro. Whatever. By the way, there were no... I don't know why he does this with the Dreamcast guy logo and then he says it in the thing. Anyways, so the thing I was going to get to is the likes and dislikes right here. Whoops, right there. It looks weird when it's on there. But when you see those, obviously you can tell that maybe this dude's a little full of shit. So with YouTube now taking away the dislikes, what will we do? Pro is finding scams, con is confirming bias for dislikes, true. And that's kind of the thing is, removing the dislikes from the public's view does not help. In fact, I would say that they should just remove it for the corporate side or the creator side of things. If they really don't want people to feel depressed about this dislike campaign, remove it from the creator side of things. I don't need to see them. It'll make my poor heart just break and bleed out. But for the public, I mean, this is the voice of opinion. And if you can't take it, I don't know what else to tell you. Dislikes is how I tell if the download link to the pirated game I download are legit or not. True. I mean, I don't pirate games. Silly. You should never pirate your games. You can't tell that I'm blinking, but just trust me, I'm blinking.
This is seriously a collection of games I've wanted to exist in a modern format for almost 20 years, and
they've existed, though. They never went anywhere.
I am completely losing my mind. I am so freaking happy that it's at last arrived.
Now, I'm sure you guys have seen Twitter. I can probably find it if I actually looked hard enough, but you've seen a lot of the textures and the glitches and how it looks in the air. You know what? Hang on a second. I'm going to bring up a Twitter mutual of mine. I have to be very careful. I can actually look him up this way. This is going to be a thing that I need to bring up to you very importantly. And I have to make sure that it's not on stream. Okay. His Twitter feed's pretty okay. So we're good, chat. We did it. Yeah. All right. So check this out. A mutual of mine has been playing through a bunch of video games. Forza Horizon 5, and then he got Grand Theft Auto. This is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, in the PS2 era, you couldn't see the city because of the distance, the depth of field, if you will, and also the smog that's in the city. He's also glitched into a rock. He's also glitched into a rock. Just take that in. Now, this is one example, and you can say, well, NECRO, you're cherry picking again. Well, he did it again, where when you're on a plane, you can see the entire goddamn map. Now, I want games to be good when they come out, but I am not going to sit here and tell you that this game is worth your money. I'm not reviewing it, so I don't have to worry about that, but I can at least tell you from what I've played of San Andreas that I don't think it's worth the money. This is a very chill flight. Obviously, you can see the entire island. And also, you can see the boundaries via this white line. Woo, lad. This is, by the way, this is one game. I had to find the other ones because there's a clip of someone playing Grand Theft Auto 3 and they're hopping through the ammunition windows, and it treats it as though they're going through a door. So remember when Cyberpunk came out and the mass media, the lamestream media said that this game was good, and they gave it 9 out of 10s and 8 out of 10s, but it was fundamentally broken and it should have been nowhere near any of those because it's not a complete game? Take that into consideration watching Dreamcast Guy's video.
It's time to talk about classic Grand Theft Auto. What's up, gamers? Dreamcast Guy here.
Yeah, we already saw the intro, asshole.
And this is my honest review for the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition. It seems like Rockstar Games is one of the most beloved developers. The stuff they craft, whether it be...
I'm gonna withhold judgment.
Set in the Wild West or modern times, they're just such lived-in worlds, and their maps are so massive, you can easily spend sometimes thousands of hours exploring the cities they create and still not see all of it.
Okay, but these games are smaller than like GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption, so I'm not sure why we're bringing that up.
Well, as good as their recent games have been, I've always been much more of a fan of classic Rockstar. The early...
You mean when they weren't corrupt and couldn't charge you an arm and a leg for all of the DLC? Me too.
Days of stuff like Grand Theft Auto on PlayStation 2 and Xbox, the releases of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas completely melted my eyeballs because this was a universe that was so filled with just piles of unique detail, from tiny hidden collectibles to funny banter. Like, there's so much to see and do in this specific playground.
It's the same one. Classic Rockstar was good. I'll at least give them that point. Classic Rockstar used to make, well, they had to back then. They had to make a complete game. They couldn't sell you shark cards and then keep selling you the 5th edition of Grand Theft Auto 5. What was it? They had the PS3 version that it came out with, and then they had the PS4 upgrade, and then the PS5 upgrade, but then you could also get like this weird like Ultimate Edition or something like that too. Like there's a lot. But classic Rockstar before GTA 5 was probably lit.
It feels like my dream project that these games are back and improved in so many tiny and substantial ways. This is a full-blown remaster in the most perfect sense of the word.
No, it's not. And by the way, I didn't even bring up the actual graphics of a lot of the things that I saw. Shadows were really weird. Yeah, classic Blizzard, we don't talk about that. I was never really into Blizzard games back then, so I can't really speak on that.
So today what we're going to do is actually look at the goods and the bads, looking at what's new, what has been improved, and what is strangely missing.
But I thought this was perfect in every sense.
Now let's start off by talking a lot about the gameplay before we dig into the graphics and the missing soundtrack.
You mean the things that made it good? That's weird. Anyone remember the Manhunt series? Vaguely. I vaguely remember them. I know what they are, but I vaguely remember it. NECRO 13, wait, hang on. As the consumer, we should say enough when it comes to these greedy motherfuckers with DLC. But you see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, chat. You know what? Hang on. The thing about it is that you and me may not buy it, because we want to stand... This is something that I kind of learned when I had to argue with someone about Call of Duty. Every year, someone says, I'm not going to buy this new game from this company. Like, let's just say Call of Duty, for example, because that's what it was. I'm not going to buy Call of Duty. And I said, that's great. But we're in the minority of people that are telling you to not buy these annual releases. Little Timmy down the street, or... Jim bro that only plays Call of Duty on his Xbox with his bros, they're not listening to any of that outside news because they don't care. They're like, oh, new Call of Duty game. I think Griffin brought this up in a different way, albeit, but he said essentially the same thing. People on the outside do not care about what's in our little niche corner of the internet. So when we're protesting buying shark cards so they release GTA 6, guess what random general consumer's doing? They're going to GameStop, or they're buying them straight from the marketplace, and they're saying, I need some more shark cash, or whatever it is. it's just going to keep happening no matter how much we try to prevent it. It's the sad truth, but it's truly unfortunate.
Now, first things first, you're going to see a little bit of like side-by-side comparisons here and there because I'm one of the few people who actually owns the original versions of all of these games.
I think a lot of people do. And if you don't, you should go ahead and pirate them while you can. I mean, buy them legally, which you can't. Take 22 with the $4.99. Thank you. It says, I wanted to quickly say hi. I'm going to miss this. Sorry, don't worry. The archiver, or at least uploading stuff to the archiver day, has been weird. That's why the Halloween one's up, but not the one from like last week. It just will not work. So I'm going to try again tomorrow.
And I've played them recently. The old school versions of Grand Theft Auto were certainly charming in their own way, but
No, they were perfect.
updates they've done to this were very necessary.
This is going to be an unpopular opinion. I feel like you should play the old ones before you play the new ones so you can truly appreciate how far we've come. It's really a situation of get good.
So when these games came out back in the day, they were very much not intended to be third-person shooters. You know?
Wait a minute. I have to go back to what he just said.
Came out back in the day, they were very much not intended to be third-person shooters.
Huh? Wait, one more time to make sure I'm not going insane.
Came out back in the day, they were very much not intended to be third-person shooters. You know, they were meant to be just big, gigantic sandboxes that you would run around and make your own adventure in.
Oh. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh jeez. Oh. You know what? I can't do it. This is 2 minutes and 15 seconds into the video. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Let's just keep going.
Well, this time around, they've managed to fix everything about how you aim your guns, which holy heck is this a much better experience.
Oh jeez. You know what? I'm still stuck on the other thing. The most blatant lie to end all blatant lies. I don't know how to really react to that. I don't even know if there's a rebuttal to that. I mean, he could have argued that in a much different way, I guess. Like originally, like the first Grand Theft Auto and the second one were top-down shooters. And then all they did was change the camera perspective. But they are third-person shooters. Oh, holy shit.
Now, there's two different parts of this. Aiming is now still based on the lock-on system. Whenever targets were walking up or dangerous, by holding down the trigger, you would automatically aim on the nearest target. And this worked decently for back in the early 2000s, but it is such a clunky mechanic by current-day standards.
Again, I think you have to play the old ones to appreciate the new things that you have.
The way it works now is that whenever you hold the aim button, you'll actually target somebody, but then you have this free aim reticle, so you can actually aim at specific body parts if you want to try and shoot them in the knee, the head, the arm, shoot a gun out of their hand, stuff like that.
Oh, so they made it baby easy. Got it.
Picking out specific locations to shoot now and seeing the different ways they react is now a much simpler experience. Some of the missions in this game really require some precision, sharp shooting, so
They really don't. If DSP can get through an entire segment on Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and because he was playing through like the one mission where you have to go and save Sweet from inside of like the hotel thing that you're in, like yeah, he died a lot, but he really didn't have to think that much.
So it's nice that you can actually aim and take people down in
The weapon wheel keeps fucking hurting me. I can't look at it.
the proper order and as soon as you want. This is a very, very nice liquid experience, especially because the other aspect of this is they brought in the weapon wheel system for from Grand Theft Auto 5. So just by holding the weapon select button, you can instantly switch from a sniper rifle to a baseball bat or right to a rocket launcher if a helicopter shows up and is trying to stop you from your crazy rampage.
You know what I really think is a good thing about old Grand Theft Auto? Old thing good, by the way. New thing bad. The thing that I really appreciate is when you're running away from the cops and you have to sort through all of your weapons to get to the one that you want. You learn how to figure out that shit really quick.
These updates to the gameplay may sound like very small and insignificant, but when you're there, actually in the heated action, it feels literally 50 times better to actually get in the crazy fights. Now let me talk about the controls to the driving itself. Whenever you're cruising around in the neon streets of Vice City or going up into the hills of San Andreas, it's here that you begin to appreciate the fact that steering, aiming, the gas pedals, braking, and reversing all work a lot better than they did in the original versions.
I don't think so. I think if you want to talk about the pinnacle of where driving was good, it was every game before GTA 4. And then it went back up in GTA 5.
The biggest difference is that now it's much more incremental controls. In the original version, just by holding X, you would go forward and square was back up. And you know what? Having full-blown gas or full-blown brake became incredibly aggravating when you were actually trying to do the precision drifting or e-braking or trying to do any of the street races and stuff. Everything works better, but also
He wants it easy mode. That's all we can really chalk this up to.
during this, I got a chance to appreciate just how fluid stuff is. Chasing down someone on the streets to run them over to...
Wait, by the way, did he... Doesn't matter. I don't think it really matters. Irrelevant.
Get a couple extra bucks, or sometimes just doing some taxi missions and stuff to earn some extra money on the side. All of this works so much better because now the controls feel like something that's actually developed for 2021. It kind of drove me nuts. As somebody that even does love the early days of PlayStation 2 and Xbox, it definitely kind of just infuriated me at times to drive past a target in the original controls because stuff was so ridiculously finicky.
It really wasn't. He's talking about a lot of stuff that's like, I don't know, if you played the games when they were first out, you learned it. It's like he doesn't want to learn how to play the game. Is it just the mobile port? It really kind of is. The controls are the fucking same. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, I struggled with, I didn't struggle with it, but when you're playing in San Andreas and you can't, like, you know, when you're running towards the camera or whatever it is, and CJ starts shooting in the air instead of shooting in the direction that you're supposed to be shooting people in, that's the exact same.
Everything is much more balanced for precision. The aiming and the controls of cars are just so much smoother from the top to the bottom. But let me talk a bit about the graphics.
Oh boy.
I think this is probably one of the aspects people are the most curious about.
They're terrible. Well, they're not terrible. I'm being facetious. They're not bad, but depends on who you ask.
So I decided to get this game twice. I bought it on the PlayStation 5 myself, and Rockstar Games was nice enough to give me a copy of the game on Xbox Series X. Now, when you're playing this game on next-gen systems, or I guess I should say...
And, you know, okay, so I'm going to be a little bit nitpicky here. And you guys you can call me out for it, but Dreamcast guy does this for a living. Why does this video look like shit? By the way, it's not me. It's still 1080p. It's just, if he was going to showcase how good it looked, I wouldn't have used Vegas Pro for it.
Current gen systems, the graphics are very apparently better. This is definitely running at 4K. It is definitely a very solid frame rate, but more than that, it seems like everything actually fixes the biggest issue of the original versions, which was the pop-in.
Oh boy, is he really going to do this?
This trilogy used to have the worst problem of things just randomly appearing. There's still a little bit of like texture pop in where things in the background are like loading in, but I'm not even joking. When you played this game back in the early 2000s, it was made to be on a blurry like CRT TV, like a tube TV sitting in your parents' basement or whatever like that.
How does that make that different? Does he know that those things pop in because of the render distance? because the way that they designed the game is that only so many things can be on screen at once. I know, I've watched the GTA speedrunners. I've learned a lot from them.
So they didn't even try and render stuff that was more than 100 feet away. It just
Wow, that's almost like that's how you save on resources.
didn't even exist until you got to it. Like, this is gameplay right here of the original versions of these games, and
It just looks like he sucks at driving, so why is he complaining?
as much as I like it, it obviously has some crazy technical drawbacks. Now it renders everything, off in the distance, up close, the cars you're stealing, the reflections on the surface. The updated visuals are really nice and they're really smooth.
By the way, I'm sure you guys saw this over here on the left-hand side. He's not going to bring that up, by the way. Watch as this person gets run over, and then they stay that way. Even SMT5 cuts on frames with objects in the distance to save space. That's what a lot of games kind of do, especially on the Switch. You have no choice. It's outdated hardware.
Reflections on the surface. The updated visuals are
This person right here, by the way.
really nice and they're really smooth. The updated draw distance definitely works better overall, but more than that, just the individual textures of the characters, the people talking, and also just looking at the cars themselves, everything looks so improved, it's nuts to me. Like,
I mean, after 20 years, I would fucking hope so. Do we honestly need 4K for games? I'm not being an asshole by asking that. Oh no, listen. Do we need 4K for games? It should be an option, but let me put it to you this way. It should be an option for PC games. It shouldn't be an option for consoles because they either run 4K 30 or you get 60 frames per second. And I'm still in the camp of getting 60 frames per second or whatever it is. I have a 1440p monitor, so I want my 144 hertz in all of its glory instead of the resolution. That's just me personally, but it varies from person to person.
I'm glad that they've managed to make this game look modern, or at least closer to a modern day experience. At times the animations, and I do consider this to be a flaw, are still very outdated.
That's because it's a remaster.
Punching people, kicking people, watching everyone run away from you. Most of this stuff is still pulled directly from the original code, so it looks a little bit strange at times.
It's a fucking remaster. What are you talking about?
Especially our main character, Tommy Vercetti in Vice City. A lot of times when this dude is sprinting, he looks like he just took the biggest dump in his pants. But
by the way, scat fetish.
I can still try to just see how good the game looks, even if he is running around like a complete loser. Let me just do a quick side-by-side comparison. So this is the original version of Vice City.
Man, the original one looks fucking lit.
This is the updated version of Vice City, and here is some cyberpunk footage for.
Oh, wait. Why are we... Oh my god. This is the worst fucking thing you could do, is compare it to Cyberpunk. In just the regard that we're talking about bike stuff.
For absolutely no reason. It's very obvious that the updated visuals are doing more than just.
And by the way, what is this proving exactly? That Cyberpunk has a lot of light? Because it looks bright as shit out there. What is this?
Just improving the way games look, it's actually making the complete overhaul of lighting systems and making it so the game itself just looks so much cleaner that you can play it at a much higher skill level.
The graphics help you with that?
Alright, so let me talk about some of the quality of life changes they've made and the biggest drawback of this.
I thought this game was perfect in every way that you just said.
A lot of the very painful load screens have been removed because this is a much more modernized version. But more than that, I love small stuff like the fact that whenever you fail a mission now, you can actually jump straight back into it.
There's the checkpoints. Spiffy fish face with the 2. Thank you. It says, please make the dummy man go away. Listen, just because I think he's stupid doesn't mean that I think that he should go away forever. Because if we did that, then what would we have to watch?
In the original version, it would drive me nuts, but whenever you died, like trying to finish off a mission, you had to leave the hospital, get into a cab, and go back to the mission maker.
Yeah, that's still good because you get sidetracked and then you do something else in the game. It's almost like it was designed that way on purpose.
Now, whenever you screw things up, it just instantly asks you, would you like to try again? And you can say yes or no. If you say yes, it starts the mission again. When you select yes, it just goes right back into the quest itself. But if you say no, you still go to the hospital in the typical fashion.
Oh, wow. At least they gave you a toggle. I think that they should have just left it where you go back to the hospital. Teach these people how to drive.
It makes this a much more efficient way to play the game and takes out some of that tedious, stupid filler that felt like it just existed because they were trying to just do things in a way that had never been done before. Now, the last major gripe I have is the fact that there is missing songs from the soundtrack.
You know what? Hang on. This we need to have a talk about this before we even get into it. To be fair, the threat of failure and how hard the missions were made success so much freaking... wow. I'm starting to talk like the fucking guy. It's so much fucking sweeter. I agree. When you get your ass beat and then you succeed, you're like, holy shit, thank goodness this is over. Hand-holding now in GTA? Yeah, there's hand-holding all over the fucking game. I can't do it. I think it's funny, but it's also like actual hand-holding. So the thing about the music is that Rockstar just didn't want to have to spend the money. Now, the song list, if I'm not mistaken, were taken straight from the 2014 re-releases, which means that they weren't in the game anyways. So from the original games and then the 2014 re-releases, those songs were removed. But in this game, they said, oh, all the songs are here, and then with the little asterisk next to it, via the 2014 re-release. San Andreas honestly had one of the best difficulty curves for GTA games. That and 4. I agree. I liked playing through San Andreas. Here's some NECRO lore for you. I played through San Andreas this one time when I got suspended from school for 3 days for fighting. And I sat down for 3 days and I just chipped away at some GTA, bro. So... take with that what you will.
Now, basically, the way this works is that when you're releasing a game a second time, whether it be a remake...
this is the third time.
...or a remaster in this case, you have to talk to everybody who made those songs and pay them a second time.
Well, don't worry. Michael Jackson's dead, so you don't have to ask him. But Sony really wants you to pay the money, though.
Because technically this is a separate product. Well, for the most part, they got back about 95% of the total songs that are very iconic from these games.
Except for the Michael Jackson ones. Feels good, man. I believe the term gamer is starting to die because developers are making things too easy. They're making games for people like DSP. If you don't know what I mean, I think I might be able to find it, but... we'll see.
And the soundtrack is incredibly important, especially in Vice City.
Okay, I'm going to go on a rant about this, by the way. I forgot. This is the thing that was in the game that really pissed me off. So, you guys remember, maybe you didn't do this, but maybe it's just a me thing that I did. But you know when you go into the pause menu of any Grand Theft Auto game, and then you go to the audio, so you could test the audio, and then it played the radio station right there in the option? Raise your hand if you ever did that. Because I most certainly did. The reason I bring this up is because in the Trilogy, the definitive edition of Grand Theft Auto, when you go into the settings in your pause menu and you go to test the audio for any radio station, it only plays the drops. So it doesn't play any music, it doesn't play the radio, it plays the drops that they play between commercials, where it's like it could be like the talk show one. It's just like they'll do the thing like you're listening to Vice City Talk Radio or Public Access Radio, and then it moves right into the next drop where it's This is Vice City Public Radio, keeping you informed and armed, or something like that. You know, whatever they say. That's it. You're not listening to music for free, bucko. You're gonna have to sit in a car and do that in the middle of the game. Fuck Grand Theft Auto.
The fact that this is an 80s based game, part of the fun is turning on the radio and hearing all the crazy things that are being said and done and stuff like that. Well, there is a couple things that are missing, like Michael Jackson. All the Michael Jackson songs are completely gone. So yes, you can't hear the famous song Billie Jean. It's completely
Yeah, they don't want listen, Sony really wants that money.
Missing. Also, there's some very notable tracks missing from like Tupac and stuff. And
Tupac, Ozzy Osbourne, Guns N' Roses, I'm pretty sure is the other one. Go ahead. We can keep going on the list.
while I am just very disappointed personally that these are missing, it just comes down to the fact that this company last year earned $3 billion.
So they couldn't pay for music licenses?
Why were you not able to pay the licensing fee for these songs to come back?
By the way, this is a perfect remaster in every way, according to Dreamcast Guy. This is all perfect.
Feels weird that, like, you guys aren't broke. Why won't you pay the $10 million or whatever it takes to get these songs to return? I mean, maybe I'm being a bit nitpicky, but...
Oh, wow. Being nitpicky in a perfect game? Color me surprised.
It feels weird that these songs are missing just for the sake of being missing. Like, what person over at Rockstar HQ is being so incredibly cheap?
You know, I'm not going to defend Rockstar on this, but maybe they just didn't fucking care. I mean, maybe that's just it. I don't know.
A majority of my time spent with these games has been incredibly positive and fun, but there is this strange glitch that popped up 2 or 3 times in each of these games, which is strange because this doesn't mean that it's one broken spot in each of them. This is an error that seems to exist across the entire Definitive Edition trilogy, which I call the wall bang. Now, what this essentially is sometimes you'll get a wall that has no texture that lets you walk right through it, or you have a wall that is invisible. Like in this case, I discovered this basically like 3-foot high ledge that just is completely see-through. You can crash your car into it, you can jump onto it, it's just something that's here in the middle of the path and yet doesn't exist. I also encountered this while just doing some flying missions where suddenly it's put up some sort of invisible wall on these stairs which couldn't and shouldn't exist.
Again, this is a perfect remaster.
I'm not sure why this happens, but the 3 times I encountered it, by reloading a checkpoint, everything instantly worked better. So, okay, that's just strange, but there it is.
Perfect remaster, but we gotta restart the game to make it work.
Okay, well, this game has been a very fun time. I'm glad they're back. You've seen the graphics, you've seen the gameplay, but now it's time to go to the ratings board and put a big number on it.
This game should be nowhere higher than a 7.
I am giving the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition Trilogy a 9.
Hell! This game reminds me of when I played Sonic Colors Ultimate. And even with the problems that Sonic Colors Ultimate... By the way, I already knew that it was a 9. I was just kidding. So I already knew that it was a 9. But when I played through Sonic Colors Ultimate, I didn't go out of my way to say, man, everything about this game is perfect in every way from its original one on the Wii. But, man, does it fucking suck. I just said, why are we pretending that this game is good? Especially with all of these glitches. And I gave it like a 6. Again, maybe, and this kind of gets into a weird territory, chat. When I review games, I don't like to make them be, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want people to think that I am influenced by a company that gave me code to play game and think that it has to be a 10 out of 10. Let me put it to you that way. Like, there's a couple of games that I'm playing right now that I think are pretty much known. I played Call of Duty. That review is pretty much done. I think I gave that game a 6. And it's because the game, while it still functions, barely functions on the PC. And the story is hot garbage. If you've seen the story, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Battlefield has been decently good. Right now it's about an 8 because it's an online only game and the servers are pretty shit right now. But when I was playing it before, they worked just fine, obviously, because no one was on them. So now that we've fast forwarded to now, this game shouldn't be a 9. And by the way, he said he played this on the Switch. No, he played it on the PS5 and the Xbox. Did he play it with his fucking eyes closed? Oh, jeez. Whatever, man. Pretty fair ratings. Call of Duty Vanguard is a... like, it has stuff in it, but the PC port that I reviewed, it's just not good. It's just not good. And don't worry, it's... oh, look it. We can keep going a step further.
Out of 10. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the very end. If you could, please give this video a like. If this manages to get like 5,000 likes, well, maybe I'll feel warm and happy inside. But
the goods. New controls are perfect. Updated lighting and textures go a long way to improve graphics. 3 big games for $60 is an easy win. What are the negatives? Wall glitches randomly happen. Missing music? Come on, you cheap jerks. Nothing negative. All the things that he said, well, these are things that I didn't like. The animations feel really weird. First of all, they're not bad. They're in the game. I don't know. This is fucking stupid. Anyways, here's the other thing that I have to get to you, because we talked about it a little bit. RGT 85. This is the thing that I know Griffin brought up because I saw it on his stream, and then I said, let me look at this instead. I'm not even going to entertain the idea of looking at any of this. So, this is clickbait, by the way. Don't worry, I saved you a click, chat. This video goes back a little while. When did Metroid Dread come out? Here it is. So, there's 2 videos, and Griffin watched these both on his stream, so you should check out Griffin's stream when he does stream. He got a new puppy, by the way. Actually, you know what? Hang on. That's like way more important than this dumb shit. Here's my man Griffin Gaming. Where's oh yeah, community. Guys, look it. He has a new puppy. He named it Apollo. That's a cute puppy. You guys need to go ahead and when Griffin streams again, you need to just spam the chat with Apollo. Look how cute this little boy. Whoa, did you guys see that? Okay, sorry, I know it like took a big shit, but you guys can see it again, I'm pretty sure. But look, the cute puppo's here. No, don't you dare. But Creed died. Yeah, Creed did die. Yikes. Lag spike. Yeah, the internet has been weird today. Like, in the area that I'm in, it's been pretty weird. Anyways, but yeah, you need to, next time you talk to Griffin in his chat, in his stream could handle the pupper. You know what? Everything was fine. We were watching stupid shit, but when we're looking at pupper, well, then it just decides to die. So, nothing I can do, bros. All right, so here's the thing that I was going to bring up to you, chat. In about 20 seconds into this video, you're going to hear something be said, and this is going to be the crux of everything, because I know that you guys were like, well, RGT greater than Nintendo's legal team. No, Nintendo's legal team should absolutely, like, rip this dude's shirt off and take a poop on his chest because of this stupid shit that he says right here. By the way, this game was embargoed.
Its first year, Spawn Wave has to buy me a copy of Metroid Prime 4. Well, I ended up getting an early copy of Metroid Dread.
What was that again? Here, let me go back just a little bit. This is the important part.
Early copy of Metroid Dread.
Early copy. One more time for the people in the back.
Over 3 million copies in its first year, Spawn Wave has to buy me a copy of Metroid Prime 4. Well, I ended up getting an early copy of Metroid Dread because I don't mind spending a bunch of money on the Metroid franchise, and I have my review done. Now, I've actually...
So, if you guys are wondering why this is important, RGT has already admitted that he got an early copy. By the way, this wasn't like a code that was sent to him. It wasn't one that was given out by a press release company, a PR company, if you will. So companies that are like the middleman between you and the developer. What happens instead is he went to a local store somewhere and he bought this game and they gave it to him before street date, which means he essentially got an illegal copy, recorded footage from that illegal copy, and then he uploaded it on the internet. Because that's why Nintendo's over his ass. They really don't care. Nintendo is a Japanese company, and I think I said this in Griffin's stream too. Nintendo is a Japanese company, and they don't care about gray areas. It's black or white. Is this legal? Is it illegal? You know that one guy, his name, coincidentally, Bowser, the guy that was like selling like Switch hacks or something like that? Nintendo sued him for $4.5 million. They don't fucking care. They don't care. So, because this entire video is full of nothing but pre-release software footage, you don't know what could have changed before the day one patch or what changed after the day one patch. Now, this is where we get this video. So Nintendo is coming after me. And in this video, he explains that he did nothing wrong. He doesn't know what the big deal is, bros.
So this isn't the video that I planned on making today. I don't know, I might still make another one. I'm actually filming this at about 1 a.m. my time right now because going through my emails, I found something very interesting. And as the title of this video suggests, you might be able to take a guess at what it is, but Nintendo is coming after me.
Yeah?
Me, RGT85. So I kind of want to talk about what's going on and why it's just a really bizarre situation and just sort of clarify some behind the scene things. So before we get into that, let me make something clear. I've talked about this before in a video on the channel, but
by the way, why does he have lint on his shirt? I know I'm being a little nitpicky, but it's like, it's bothering me because it's just right there.
I do not work directly with Nintendo, and that might surprise a lot of people, but I'm not a Nintendo brand ambassador.
Don't worry, you most certainly will not be one after this.
I don't get free stuff from Nintendo. I don't get free Switches. I don't get free Switch games. I don't get anything from them.
Remember.
And a lot of people think that I do, but that's not the case because I don't really want to be a Nintendo brand ambassador. There's certain things you have to do and can't do and whatnot. And
you still managed to fuck that up somehow.
No disrespect to anyone that is a Nintendo brand ambassador, but I talked about this in my video about working with Nintendo and sort of why I don't do it, because I just like to have my own freedom and I like to be able to do whatever I want and not worry about something like possibly offending them or making somebody mad and cutting off business relationships. Now,
this sounds like a weird DSP thing to say. Maybe that's just me. But you brought it. Yeah, he brought it. Okay, so he doesn't see a problem with this. And that's all you really need to know about this moving forward is that none of this is his fault, guys. There's nothing he could have done. He might take down the video if they want him to. Question mark.
Now, no disrespect to anyone who is a Nintendo brand ambassador. Obviously, I am friends with a lot of them, but it's just not for me. So, you know, that's just sort of how that is. But yeah, so Nintendo's coming after me.
You know what? He kind of does look like DSP's cousin, where he kind of sold out a little bit. Yeah.
On a very interesting situation. This actually just popped up in my email. It goes to an email account that I don't really check all that much, but obviously I need to because this is the same email that Target emailed about my X-Men Arcade 1-Up cabinet. And I was checking through that email tonight, laying in bed, and I saw this and I was like, What the hell is this? Are you out of your freaking minds? What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with you, Nintendo? How dare you not let me monetize illegal footage? Pretty fucking weird, bro.
Up on the screen now, I have a basic sort of thing for what this is all about, and I'll explain it more. I don't want to put names and all sorts of weird stuff out there, but basically it's...
I already read through the entire email, but I'll skip to like near the end when he starts talking about like, oh, that's pretty much the gist of it. But there we go. I need to make sure that I emphasize certain parts in this email because he doesn't emphasize them when he reads through them. So he gets the email that goes, "Hello. We received the copyright infringement notification below regarding your videos. We believe your content is protected by fair use." This is YouTube saying, we think it's fair use because it is. Fair use, fair dealing, or a similar exception to copyright protection. We are writing to let you know that we do not plan to remove your videos at this time. You have control over the availability of videos on your channel, including the ability to delete them if you choose. They link the video, which is the one that we just saw about the early copy, right? Please be advised, it is possible the copyright owner will approach you directly to request removal or take other action. This email is not intended as legal advice. If you are interested in more information regarding your options in this matter, you may wish to consult a qualified attorney. Please note the complaint's physical address and phone number have been redacted from the copyright infringement notification below. This is Nintendo saying, you put this in your video and we caught you in 4K and you got to do something about that, bro. And he's feigning ignorance.
Unfortunately, there are names on here and stuff like that, so I can't really show it, but this is something that's actually been going on for, it looks like a couple of weeks now. Let me see here to be exact. It looks like this was actually made on October 8th. Now, obviously on October 8th, two things came out that we are all very well aware of for the Nintendo Switch. You had the Nintendo Switch OLED model, and you had Metroid Dread.
Guess which one of them is embargoed? And guess which one is illegal to show?
Now, going to Metroid Dread, I obviously got an early copy of the game, and
by the way, he says it again. Here, let me go back 5 seconds so you can hear it again.
Now, going to Metroid Dread, I obviously got an early copy of the game, and when you get a game from a company, there's something called an embargo, and this embargo seems to extend sort of beyond even if a company gives it to you directly, because it basically gives them grounds on being able to say, hey, you can't upload this because it breaks our embargo.
No, that's not what that is. That is not what that is. So, in case we all needed to know, since I do review video games, an embargo means that the company that sent you the code, it could be oh god, who made Shadowverse? Whatever they did. They made Shadowverse, and in the embargo, they said you can stream this content after this date up to chapter 4. But you couldn't stream any more than that. Or upload any content about it. Like 1 through 4, that's it. And then the real embargo was now you can put out your review and you can give all of your takes on this product. Now, that only works if you're getting a copy of a game from either the developer themselves or the PR company. Cygames, yeah, damn. You know, I should have known that because at the very beginning, the guy just goes, Cygames! And I'm like, yeah, bro, it is Cygames. Man, they make some good shit. Anyways. But they, they tell you, like, don't post any of this shit online. And in some cases, just don't fucking say anything at all. I don't get why he had to make sure that he kept telling everyone that he got it early. But they tell you what not to do. And in fact, it's just best practice to just not say shit anyways. Like, there could be a game or something like that that I'm reviewing right now, and I can't tell you what it is. That's part of the embargo. But that only applies to things given out by the companies directly. Because usually if it's like a big company, like let's say you work, God forbid, you work for like IGN, and then they give you a copy of Elden Ring or something like that. Namco Bandai will say, don't post anything about this at all until, when does it come out? The 15th of February? They'll probably say, do not post anything about this until February 14th at 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If they say that, you better not fucking break it. Or they will call you up directly or email you and say, okay, well, that's enough of that. Or they'll just remove all your content and they'll blacklist you. It doesn't really matter. But again, that's what the embargo is there to do. When you get an early copy of a game that is not supposed to be out for you, and then you're gloating about it, and then you're recording footage, sorry, Nintendo's right. That's just how it be sometimes.
So take, for instance, a game like the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Remastered. That game comes out on November 11th. The embargo for that game could be November 9th.
Spoiler alert, it was the day that it launched.
So if you get an early copy of the game and you put it up some gameplay footage on the 7th or the 8th, Rockstar is well within their rights to go and copyright claim that video.
They can still do it even afterwards. You guys remember Atlas? Atlas they're still striking videos that are attempting to post Persona 5 cutscenes. I think even Persona 4 in some cases. But if you're posting cutscenes or story elements after a certain date, they are going to your channel and they're not just claiming it, they're striking your channel. And sorry, on YouTube, it's 3 strikes, you're out.
Because you're not supposed to have that yet, and it's breaking the embargo. Now, with Metroid Dread, I did manage to get an early copy of that game.
Wow, you keep saying it. It's almost like you're guilty.
And I played it a bunch, and I did my review on it.
He played an illegal copy, recorded footage for it, and made a review. Just so you guys know that.
My review did not go up before the embargo was up. It actually released several hours, I think like 7 hours later than when the embargo was up is when I put my video up.
But you don't... I think I've been reviewing games for like well over 2 months at this point. I don't think in any of my reviews I say anything about I got an early copy. It's always, I spent time with this game, I think is about the most I've ever said. Because, well, there's not a lot of games that I can play early right now anyways. But let's just say that I was playing Elden Ring. I'm not, but let's just say I was playing Elden Ring right now and they gave me until February to review the entire game. Go through it and beat it or whatever it is. The best practice is to just keep your fucking mouth shut.
Have my gameplay footage of the game, and you have basically just me playing and talking about the game. Well,
and the other thing to know about this too is, I don't think that the people that I know got a review code until the day of, and that's why a lot of reviews, if you don't see them come out on day one, that's because a lot of them didn't get review codes, like early codes of it. So if you have your review done, and that's when the embargo was up, was the day that it came out, I don't know. Nintendo might find that a little sus. Especially when you keep saying early copy.
This is the video that Nintendo is upset about because I don't really know why.
I don't know either.
Maybe because it was an early copy of the game, even
Yeah.
though it did not break embargo rules, because with embargoes, that's why you see a bunch of videos pop up at the same time on a certain subject. You know, if a game is coming out and it has an embargo of, let's say, Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, that's why at Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, you'll see like 5 or 6 videos in your YouTube subscription feed about that single thing.
Yeah, because those are copies that were given out by the press. Like, I say the press, but like the PR people. You know who I'm talking about.
So remember, I did not break the embargo.
But you did get an early copy that was illegal. because it broke street date. You said you bought an early copy. Like, even Dreamcast Guy's not that fucking stupid, and he's pretty stupid, and we just watched him. But Dreamcast Guy said that Rockstar sent me a code. They were nice enough to send me a code, but I also bought another copy. But he didn't say he bought it early.
With this game, I uploaded my footage well beyond it. So shout outs to YouTube for, I guess, understanding that and I guess realizing the situation, because
No, they only said this protects you because of fair use, but they can still come after your shit. They didn't really do a whole lot for you.
I mean, I have Metroid Dread. I have
Wow, I'm pretty sure they didn't send you that. By the way, most PR companies or whoever, they don't send you physical copies, just by the way.
multiple copies
Sometimes. There are some cases where it's like a collector's edition if the people want you to have it.
of Metroid Dread. This is the collector's edition because it's big and it's sitting on my floor, so I know where it is. But I don't understand why this is such a problematic thing, to the point of where they've been going at this with YouTube for weeks and weeks and weeks, saying that I infringed on their copyright when I simply got an early copy of a...
No, you didn't get, you bought. It's fun when you guys are like as I don't know what the word is. If you're watching this and you can see this and then we keep going around in circles, you already know that he's over here telling a lie anyways. Yeah, it fell off the truck, the back of the truck, like Mother's Basement said, which, by the way, I will tell you that at the end of the stream too. That was fun.
Game and reviewed the game, which is weird because when I think about it, something else came out on October 8th as well, didn't it? Of course, the Nintendo Switch OLED model. Now, I seem to recall a lot of people, even people I know, get their hands on a Nintendo Switch OLED weeks before the embargo was up on it.
Because it's hardware. Like, that's why we're seeing, like, the Steam Deck. They can probably show it off to you. They could probably post pictures of the damn thing. But what they probably can't do is run something on it and then post that video. I don't know. Hardware's weird.
Weeks before any website publications could actually publish their reviews, their written reviews for the Nintendo Switch OLED model. And everyone went to YouTube with their overpriced Switch OLEDs because they had to pay scalpers for them because they probably got them from some weird sort of website or something. I mean,
He was going to say weird people, but nice save.
hell, I tried to get one. Don't think I didn't, but it just wouldn't come to me in time. So I decided to just save my money. But, you know, these people got these systems early. They made videos on these systems. And did Nintendo go after any of them?
That's a weird whataboutism. What about these other people? They were doing bad things too. Well, except their case is different, where they didn't play Metroid Dread and bragged that they got an early copy. By the way, he said he bought it. I don't know why he's trying to say get, like that's some kind of like weird runaround, but he already admitted that he bought it. That's fucking weird. All I hear is excuses for him. Yeah, he's not doing himself a favor. I'll say that much.
No, and I could say that with absolute certainty because I am friends with a lot of people who put up early Nintendo Switch OLED videos, and I don't care about that. Like, that's cool. You got the product early. You obviously made a video on it. There were teardowns for the Nintendo Switch OLED up before the system review embargo was up.
But did they run anything on it? By the way, that was something I kind of thought about as I was watching Griffin go over this. These people weren't running anything on it that I could see. And even if they did, I think IGN, it was either IGN or Kotaku did like a side-by-side, and it was of games that were already out. And it's not like we didn't know anyways. It's just like I don't know. Hardware is weird. Hardware has a weird embargo. Just trust me, okay?
Up before this system was available on retail websites and in stores, and before it shipped out to consumers.
It's almost like reviewers get early things and then they can talk about them. Again, hardware is weird. You can slap an Intel chip into your computer and then talk about like benchmarks or something, or you can say, give me this much compute. I don't know. It's weird. Just trust me that it's a completely separate thing from like software.
Yet that was fine. Nobody said anything to those people. Nintendo didn't go after those people multiple times, might I add, because there are multiple emails on here. But for some reason, because I got a copy of Metroid Dread 2 days early before it came out, before you could do the review embargo.
Huh. You hear that, right? Go back.
2 days early before it came out. But
2 days early.
because I got a copy of Metroid Dread 2 days early before it came out, before you could do the review embargo. I'm a target now?
Yep.
To the point of where you're constantly trying to battle with YouTube to get the video taken down?
They're not really battling with YouTube. They're softballing them before they come and fucking pull your pants down, bro.
So now the question is, well, what happens next? And I guess I don't really have an answer for that, because obviously YouTube has my back. They've had my...
No, they don't have your back. They're in safe harbor right now. If you really want to be real about it, they're saying you can do whatever you want to with your videos. It's fair use because it's transformative in nature. But Nintendo will probably sue you for what's in the video. That's all they said. So again, that's why they're coming after you. That's why Nintendo ninjas are literally knocking at your door.
My back on this situation since October 8th, when Nintendo initially made a claim. So much, in fact, that I wasn't even notified about this situation until I received an email on the 1st, which I read on the 2nd late at night, which is why we're making this video at 1 in the morning. But
I have, by the way, I'm not going to say that I've never made a video at 1 o'clock in the morning, but what is it with YouTubers and making videos at 1 o'clock in the morning?
I don't know. Like, I might just take the video down if this video manages to do well, because any sort of lost income that video would get me in the future would be supplemented by this and would more than make up for it. But I don't know, man. Just stuff like this just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and it's just not good optics. Like,
it's not good optics for you. Why is he so stupid? Wait, I took a picture of Crash 4 a day before release on Instagram. Should I delete it? I mean, so here's the thing, chat. You guys remember Elden Ring, the network test that happened? In the TOS, it states that you're not supposed to upload any footage and you're not supposed to stream it. Now, obviously, Twitch can go through on their own and say, okay, let's go and take down some of these things if they're real streams or not. They can't really tell. But let's say that I'm watching, I don't know, Tim the Tap Man or something like that, right? And let's say for one day, this will never happen, but let's say one day Tim the Tap Man comes out and he's like, hey guys, I got this game, Elden Ring. Like, it's not out yet, but I'm going to play it on stream. And then he plays it on stream. Now, out of the 40,000 people that watch him, it doesn't matter if they're not going to report him, it won't get found unless like he's that big of a target. I'm pretty sure Bandai Namco would be all over his ass. But let's just assume for the sake of argument that 40,000 people don't report him. But there's one person that's pissed off enough that they're like, wait a minute, this isn't right. And then they message Bandai Namco and they say, hey, how is this guy able to stream this game early? Did you guys okay it? And they're like, what the fuck? No, we didn't. And then they delete his channel. Like, again, this will never happen, but for the sake of argument, just trust me. Like, they find that person if like Bandai Namco knows or the PR company knows, and they find your shit, they will make sure that they delete it. This is Nintendo softballing him before they literally pull down his pants and dry fuck him.
Like, I don't understand why the Switch OLED wasn't a big deal, but for some reason Metroid Dread was, even though...
Because it's software, and whenever you're playing software, you know that thing that you never read whenever you go through the menu at the very beginning, the end user license agreement, where it says, hey, don't do these things, and this is software that's protected by this thing, so you can't distribute it? He's the one that hits agree and he never reads it. And that's why he's getting shit on.
No, people who got the Switch OLED obviously broke the street date on it. Obviously, they broke the review embargoes for it, and I didn't. I didn't break any embargoes. I managed to get the game early. I played the game. I enjoyed the game. I talked very highly of the game. And
That doesn't fucking matter. I could say that Senran Kagura was a 10 out of 10, but if I illegally got the game, Marvelous and maybe at some level, I don't know who else does it, but let's say Marvelous just gets really fucking pissed at me. They'll probably do the same thing.
I still love the game. I mean, hell, I've got my collector's edition here. I obviously
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't send it to you.
spent some good money on this game, but yeah, just a weird situation. I don't really know what I'm going to do. I guess if this is the last email I hear about it, then I'll just, let it go and see what happens. But if I hear from him again about this, then I guess I'll just take the video down just to get him to shut up and leave me alone. I guess
No, bro. The best thing that you could do, first of all, the first time that you uploaded that video was the worst time you could have done it. The second thing that you can do right now that's the best thing to do is to delete it. But he doesn't want to miss out on the money, so I guess I can't really tell him that. Brady is the GOAT with the $5. Thank you. And it says, can you react to Ministry of Otaku and Black Sage D? Bruh. Black Sage D is literally an enigma. You know what? I got some free time at the end of this. Free talk, if you will. Or I might bring it up tomorrow. But I'll have a little segment for him.
they're watching me now. I always feel like
He's going to get me DMCA'd. Skip.
so I don't know, just a bizarre situation, something that I didn't expect to be in, but hey, we're in it, so let's talk about it. So
Yeah, we're in it because I bragged about getting a game 2 days early. Feels bad, man. Anyways. Yeah, so that's the RGT thing. It's bad. It's not a very intelligent thing for him to do, but when is it ever? Man, what an experience. Here, you know what? Since we're all here, wow, I can't type. Black Sage D. I think he does have a YouTube channel, doesn't he? Oh, look at there I am. Man, he has a lot of hate videos. Mine's not really a hate video. Oh, is it this one? Black D Gamer. Yikes. I thought my channel was pretty bad. This dude, wait, how does he have this many dislikes? Oh no, this is the small creators that YouTube was talking about. Wowee. Sorry, chat. You really want me to react to this? I mean, I guess this is the reaction. I can tell you my general thoughts about Black Sage D. I don't know anything about Ministry of Otaku, to be honest with you. So the only one that I can feasibly talk about is Black D Gamer or Black Sage D, whatever he wants to go by at this point. So Black Sage D, I made a video about him because he made like the stupidest fucking take ever on twitter.com. His entire content is very much the old school what I made in like 3 videos thing. Oh no, Mixer doesn't exist. He just forgot that it doesn't exist. But he is, if you ever really want to know like about Black Sage D in the shortest amount of time, it is SJWs. And it's almost like he never learned that the same thing that I learned, where it's only like 3 people on the internet and not an entire group of like, I don't know, people with pitchforks. But he doesn't really apply himself to anything else other than Sony's still censoring games. I'm almost afraid to click on this, to be honest with you. It might not even be updated. Yeah, he's one of those. He is every bit of, I hate SJWs, I hate Puritans, and what was the other thing? And Sony censors video games. Well, he's not wrong about that one, but I wouldn't attribute it to SJWs. I would just say that Sony's really just inept. That's about it. Apparently this is his channel. I don't know what to tell you, chat. What's a mixer? It's almost like when I first heard a mixer, you guys are gonna think I'm stupid. When I first heard a mixer, I really thought that it was like this weird like gay like streaming app. I was like, because it's kind of close to Grinder, but except it's called Mixer. I don't know. I thought that's what it was. Mixer was actually pretty decent when it was first out, and you could stream in 4K. And then they took that away because more people started to stream on Mixer, and then it died because Microsoft. Man. Wait, oh yeah, I'm so scared of women with multicolored hair. I know, right? I'm totally scared of the 3 people that are going to show up. And by the way, this kind of leads into like the other thing too. This is like the end of the stream, so I'm just doing like some finishing touches here. You guys all remember Mother's Basement, correct? So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a little story about Mother's Basement here, and this is pretty much where we're gonna be. Mother's Basement was on Twitter.com, being a shithead, as one does. Can I even open up his Twitter? Is it safe to open his Twitter? By the way, you'll notice that he's muted, and you'll also notice that hang on, we gotta go down here somewhere. It's so weird to see like how all this stuff just kind of like just exists. It's right down here somewhere. Don't worry, we're almost there. It only takes a few seconds for him to find this thing. Wait, what? Wait, what? Is this about me again? Oh my god. Okay, hang on. This is kind of important. Hang on a second. I really hope that I can find it. No, here it is. Okay, so this is the tweet. There's a bunch of stuff right here. It's actually a bunch of these. So Mother's Basement got mad at NECRO 13 because he couldn't take the joke about his joke, which was this thing about ReZero. Super Eye Patch Wolf tweets, "Watched ReZero. Ah, lads, what are we doing here?" And Jeff Thu replies, "Bro, dude, you just don't know the true depth of its character and world building." By the way, this is actually the serious part of his joke, air quotes. "Fully appreciating ReZero's majesty requires multiple rewatches, reading the light novels, the spin-off / books, and the Ichiban Kuji fairy tale, playing the games, buying at least 30 REM figures, 1 out of 283. Which means that he was joking that he was going to make a thread about this. What was NECRO's tweet? "AndyTubers, keep your story straight challenge. Impossible." Guess who showed up into my Menchies? Again, I'm not going to point out the obvious that you guys can probably see that's in their bio, but it was a lot of that for the day. Now, I don't have my notifications turned on to anyone that I don't follow or who doesn't follow me, so if they did pop into my mentions, I ain't see them. Now, this goes on for a little while. Oh boy, we gotta be careful about that. Sorry, there might have been something to get me banned. So, this I think is something halfway related to that. On second thought, quote tweets are what the ghoul wants with that ad, and even if I describe the irony, it's going to be lost on the people he's trying to reach. Maybe he's not talking about me, but maybe he's just mad enough. But he said, "Here's that attention you ordered." He knew NECRO 13 wanted attention, right? I quote tweeted him, which you can't find because I muted him. But I quote tweeted him and I said, "And it was all free. You gave me free attention. I didn't have to do a fucking thing except for make one little tweet." And the only reason he responded to it is because I don't have the account that I used to have. Which, by the way, he has me blocked on my main account. So he doesn't have me blocked on this one. That's the only reason he did it. And then he does this thing. I have to go to this tweet so that way I can show you the tweet. "Since there are people who don't know what goofing with friends is like, I guess I gotta clarify." By the way, he has to clarify the joke. "Yes, I still love ReZero. And this right here, chat, is the part. It literally helped me come to terms with my dad's death. Hey, chat, what is ReZero about? I just recognize I'm not going to transmit that love to John by yelling it at him over Twitter. I don't know who the fuck John is, but this is why. This is kind of the thing. So I said I was going to make a video about this, and it had him shook the whole damn day. This one right here. And I replied to him, I too use my father's passing in Twitter arguments. Very cool. Why did he think that this was a good move, in any regard, to win an internet argument? To quote tweet me about learn how to take a joke, which, by the way, if you have to explain the joke, it's not funny. But I kind of didn't ask about your dead father being included in this. The internet is not your diary, and your fans are not your own personal army. I don't, and I think I've told you guys this in a video or 2 or 50. I don't know how many videos I have, but if I ever get into an argument with people like Mother's Basement, don't worry about it. I got it. This is a me thing. I went into this knowing one way or another, either he would see it and block me, or he would see it and quote tweet me. And again, it was all free. But I don't like that he brought up his father's death in this tweet about ReZero. Now, this is where we get to. That's just the best example I could think of to demonstrate how much ReZero means to me. I got a thought for you after this, chat. It had nothing to do with you, question mark? Wow, I never said that it did. In fact, I never kind of alluded to it being about... Whatever. But, you're the one using it for Twitter clout right now with this response, question mark? And now you're gonna make a video about it, question mark? Please, seek therapy. Hey guys, how big is Mother's Basement's channel? Don't worry, I'll give you a second. I'll pick up my phone. I'll give you a few seconds. And you tell me how big his channel is. Okay, did you guys figure it out? It's 1.21 million subs. It's 1.21 million subs. How many subscribers do I have? 16,000? 6 something? You know, it fluctuates. Who fucking knows, right? Why is he threatened about a video from me? By the way, he knows that my videos exist. It's not like he's fucking stupid. He knows who he's arguing with. By the way, big ups to the 57 people here. Mother's Basement acts like he's, I don't know, ahead of the fucking game here. But I've been making videos about him since damn near day one. Does he really think that me making a video now is gonna change something? Don't worry, if you never heard of Mother's Basement channel, I mean, I'm not telling you that you can't watch it, but if you do watch it, make sure that you're prepared to have your brain ripped out of your fucking head. Because, boy, this is just take with whichever you can get. But what do you do? So again, my problem after the first of all, because he can't take a joke, he can literally let his e-girl thought wife whoever take all of his equipment and cuck him, but he can't take a joke. The joke that he said that he was making about stuff. And then we got to throw our dead father into it. I don't know, chat. Maybe one day we'll finally unsolve everything. We'll get it all. We'll unsolve everything. We'll solve it and we'll unsolve it, and then we'll come back to it again, and we'll be at the same place. By the way, I'm not going to tell you that the profiles that you see here are the ones that are definitely in his group. But does Glass Reflections ever even exist? I feel like he stays in a lane, and he knows what lane he's in. But again, I had these people in my mentions all day. They didn't win, and they know it takes two to tango. Wait until they find out that I'm black. Anyways, he's too paranoid to take a joke. Kind of true. The only time I'd watch him is if I was so drunk I wouldn't remember it. Don't worry, we might watch some tomorrow. Maybe then I'll release the fucking spooky video that he wants me to drop. I don't fucking get it, chat. But tomorrow is going to be the free talk, where we do our usual thing, which is kind of like this, but except we have a topic. And thankfully, we don't have to worry about Mother's Basement stupid topics about Grand Theft Auto. So I say that we're batting 1,000. Okay? It's magnificent. I actually want to do a video. This is a video idea. It'll take a while for me to do. But one of the videos that I want to get done is a history of anime conventions thing. Because that one kind of doesn't exist. I don't know. I know I'm saying like unsolved and I'm just fucking tired. I did not get any sleep last night. I was busy playing Battlefield with my bros. But someone that you can watch after I get done streaming is oh no, it's Alex. What's he playing right
Better
now?
than having the sound of clean balls slap against your thighs or your chin.
Wow, you know what? We went to a stream and we got exactly what we deserved. Okay, well there you go. Please, someone, when you get to Alex's chat, just tell him, just ask him why. Just say why. I mean, I'm not upset about what he said, but I was just a little... He's doing fine, okay? He's part of hashtag Foodgang. Dab. Also, at least you won't have to worry about Muffler Guy. You'll probably have Fratanga there. Is Fratanga there? Someone, let's get on the horn. Let's go, Ball Smacks. Oh yeah, Fratanga's there. Yeah, we're not gonna rope him into this. But make sure you guys, when next time you go to Fratanga stream, at him and be like, hey Fratanga, do a stream with NECRO. Do a drinking stream with NECRO. I'll let him host it. Like, he can host it. I'll just be here in the background, bro. I need to actually DM him back. Me and my fellow YouTubers, we all talk to each other about what's going on. And don't worry, Fratanga will probably have the same Grand Theft Auto salt for you, like, tomorrow or something. I don't know. But if you're here for the free talk tomorrow, we're just going to drink as we usually do, and then we'll probably look at some other stupid shit. But I got, like, 2 videos that I want to do, and one of them is going to be relatively short and stupid, so be ready for that. But, make sure that you guys stay safe over the weekend. Make sure you play plenty of video games with your bros or your bros, because women can also be bros. And make sure you tell them you love them. But that's where I'll end the stream, and it'll hopefully be up on the archiver if YouTube decides to work with uploading. It's been a nightmare. I'm drinking Sailor Jerry, amazing rum. I need to expand my alcoholic horizons. But don't worry, I got Jack Daniels for tomorrow, so it's okay. I got work tomorrow. Don't worry. Well, listen, Aramentaru. By the way, you guys need to give a... God, I'm not even drunk. You need to give a warm welcome to Aramentaru. He's a very beloved member of our chat. Everyone is. All of you are the real MVPs. But thanks for coming out tonight. And let me go back over the shout-outs here at the end of the stream. To King of Weebs for the tier 3 at 4 months. And then take 22 for $4.99. Spiffy Fishface, which is, by the way, a really cool name. And Brady is the GOAT for the $5 super chats. Thank you, guys. By the way, I might be starting a new job soon. And then, once I start that new job, just expect Friday streams, and it'll probably be not me drinking. But Saturday streams could be a thing still. It'll just be later in the evening. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But don't worry about it, Aramentaru. I'll drink one for you. But you guys be safe. Thanks for coming to the stream. Yeah, you guys are the real MVPs. Without you guys, I couldn't do the things that I do, which is sit here on the internet and watch streams, apparently. and then talk about videos, which, by the way, I'm going to make a video. There's not anything that's really interesting happening, and some people you kind of get tired of laughing at. You know how I be sometimes. And then King of Weebs with the 199 super chat that just says lol. I agree. Big hearts. Good night, everyone. Yeah, good night, everyone. And stay safe over the weekend. Stay safe, and make sure if you want to catch up on the content, you go right here to the channel, DSP Gaming. We're going to have a DSP free talk one day. Or maybe we'll do that like next week or something. We'll figure it out together. But I love all you bros and bros. I guess everyone's a bro. You guys stay safe.